My name is Frank Seta Associates. We are exterior wall roofing, waterproofing consultant in New York and some other parts of the US. It is extremely important. I tell you why, because in general, if you're looking at a building, number one, as far as budgeting, is the structure, concrete, and the floor. Number two is the facade. So a successful project comes with a proper structure and the right budgeted and right built facade and exterior wall. We had a very good experience with companies such as Schuco, Vicona, ASW, and few others that we usually recommend them, and it's up to the ownership and architect to choose one of them. Architects try to push the envelope. That's the challenge for all of them. Challenge for us and suppliers like AZA-INT is to simplify the specific design that the architect has in his or her mind and come up with a solution that makes sense and at the end of the day with the right budget. In our industry, we're always looking at companies that are cutting edge, meaning updating their product to the best standards, today's standard. We are still having or seeing certain manufacturers that they're still using 1960 technology. Especially with a huge push from New York City of New York, that they are really looking for saving energy, coming up with a product that fulfill all the responsibility that architect is looking for. And that's what we are looking for companies like AZA-INT that always up to the part and catch up with the latest technology. And that's what we are usually looking for. We've done several projects with AZA-INT. The first projects that we've done, it was in 19th Street. At that point, we were the first company architect introduced four-side push-up window, fairly large windows. And AZA was the pioneer when it came to that point. Right now, we are doing the largest hotel, one of the tallest hotels in New York City. And we are seeing the same type of windows and panels. That the difference is, as I mentioned before, is the technology, ease of use of the product, meaning closing, opening of the windows, although they are very large size as per design. So these are the things that we are looking for, as I mentioned before, being up to the par, looking at the latest technology. It doesn't matter if it's the handle, anchors, new gaskets, or latest technology of glass production. What we are looking for as far as supplier comes, like AZA-INT, we are looking for integrity. If there is an issue, we would like to know ahead of time. We've seen before products come in and end up with a huge headache in owner's hand. We did have an experience with AZA-INT. For instance, in the hotel, there were issues, and instead of pushing them out under the rug, they brought it up. Architect, ownership, and FSA got involved. We came up with a solution, and we resolved all the things. And at the end of the day, the benefit goes to the ownership, construction manager, architect, and AZA at the end, a product that all of us being proud of. Specifically on these two projects, which are the latest projects that we've done with AZA-INT, complexity was the main issue. In Essex, we had a very complicated facade, and architect expectation was extremely high. We came up and we helped with the system design, how to put this together. But at the end, it was AZA and Vicona that they had to come up with the right product and right production. And I have to say, we went through the job without any hiccup, which is rare. Same for the hotel. We have extreme difficult corners, conditions that are not normal. But during last few months of installation, we found out that at the end of the day, we are getting a quality product, which owner is very happy. Like real estate, that they say, location, location, location. I always say quality, quality, quality. Because if you don't have that one, the best looking product doesn't worth a penny. So our experience so far, we had in one specific project that a supplier came in and they couldn't even pass in the lab test. And it was a huge disappointment for the construction manager and the ownership and everybody else in the team. By switching to AZA International, or INT, we were able to pass the test on the first try, and the rest of the job went very smoothly. These are the facts that I have to mention because one of the reasons that we usually recommend them is because of the performance and the quality at the end of the day. We are expecting from all of the top suppliers like AZA-INT catching up with the latest technology, bringing up the latest products. When I walked through their shop, not only I saw the quality of the product, but I felt there is an art into it. That when they put things together, it's like a chef that loves what he is doing or she is doing. So that's what we felt, and that's why we recommend them usually. Our challenge is getting bigger and bigger. Why? Because if you look at international projects, they're getting more and more complicated. And that's the challenge for us. As an exterior facade company, ownership, architects, and CM rely on us to bring the right team. The team that they can rely on as far as successful project, right budgeting, and come up with the right solution. AZA has been one of the suppliers that we didn't have any issues or disappointment at the end of the day. I think one of the reasons for that is the way that they approach each project. What we like to do at complicated projects, we like to have what we call it design build, meaning getting involved all the design group suppliers under one roof and come up with a solution that everybody can shake hands, and at the end everybody satisfies with the product. And that's what they've been. One of our recent projects is a combination of precast and fairly large windows. And the challenge was bringing a window being made in Italy, ship it to Canada, and install it into another frame that these two marry together and they have to perform. The challenge was coordination, the challenge was performance, and at the end of the day, last minute things could be changed, which it happened in this specific project. And installer in Canada started to think twice about the means and method that we have approved. But at the end of the day, all of us, we were able to come up with a solution that performance was not compromised. And that's what the ownership wants at the end of the day. And I'm glad that all of us shook hands. And the reason for that is flexibility of each part. AZA-INT could easily say, no, this is what we've approved, but they were flexible to work around with the installer and make their life easier. In one word, what we are looking for is the flexibility. As I mentioned to you before, we are working on a very complicated project, this hotel in Broadway. It has all kinds of components as far as in and out, corners that very difficult to put together and unitize it and bring it together in the field. We just had an experience that out of 20 different kind of corners, we found out a difficulty of putting together one corner, and within a week, in my second visit, I found out that the case is resolved, issue is closed, and my representative in the field was very happy. That's the bottom line, because that goes to our report, and everybody starting from architect, ownership, and the CM looks at it, and that's the satisfaction that everybody has at the end of it.